Today, the science of luck. There is absolute empirical evidence, and I'm going to share it with you. I've used it for 50 years. You can be lucky.
He's built multi-million-dollar companies. His explosive books on health and wealth have sold over 60 million copies. Now, the Kevin Trudeau Show they don't want you to know.
There is a science that actually can turn someone lucky. And you're getting this from the world's best mentor. Now, by the way, I get cups and mugs like this all the time, saying greatest mentor in the world, greatest success coach of all time, #1 success coach, world's best mentor. And John Denny, my producer, stole this. I couldn't find it and replaced it with some other one, but I found it and I'm bringing it back on the show. He didn't like it, but I have this back. So I know my producer doesn't like that cup, but we have it back because I know you do. So we're going to talk about the science of luck, how you can be lucky. There's a few simple things that you can do. Well, clearly I'm not very lucky because I lost my cup again. I'll get it back. Don't steal that. John is in the booth right here. There is a science of luck. There was a great book called The Field. And in this book, The Field, it talks about the scientific, and John's in the booth, so he always challenges what I say here. But John, if you haven't read the book, The Field, you should. So in this book called The Field, there is all of this research, and it talks about the 0-point field, how everything is connected. And by doing certain things, you can change outcomes. The most significant test, I believe, in this book, and there's a lot of them that are good, but I think the #1 is this. They had a machine, it's called a random number generator. And this random number generator generates either a 1 or a 0 in a random sequence. They push the button, and this was done before computers, so you had a tape, and it generates 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. There's a sequence. And every time they push it, it's a different sequence because it's a random number generator. There's no program. It's 100% random. It's like flipping a coin. Every time you flipped a coin, it's a random outcome, or it's like throwing dice. If I throw dice, it's random. It can come up any sequence. It's 100% random. If you spin a roulette wheel, it's 100% random. And I'm mentioning these games of chance for a reason. This number generator generates random. They did thousands and thousands of tests to see how the number generator works. And it's always right around 49.9% one number and just a little the other. In other words, it never came up 50-50, even though there's only two numbers. When they did the random number generator and they do like 10,000 or 100,000 or a billion numbers, it never is 50-50. It's always 49.9 or 50 or 0.1. It's always right there. 49.9, 50. And those one numbers just a little bit more, but just a little bit more. Little bit. And here's what the researchers did. The researchers took someone and said, I want you to look at that number generator box, and I want you to think you want more number ones than zeros, more ones than zeros, more ones than zeros. And now let's run the number generator. And when they ran it, they look at the number. Guess what? The number 1 came out more than 0. And it wasn't 50.1. It was 50.9, 50.8, or 51, or even 52. In other words, a complete anomaly. And the researchers were blown away. They repeated it and repeated it and repeated it. And every single time they had a person simply energetically desire a different outcome or a specific outcome, the random number generator gave them that. This, my friends, is empirical scientific evidence that the mind can affect outcomes of chance, random outcomes. This is how you get lucky. But I'm going to tell you something else. And this will blow you away. And Mr. Skeptic sitting in the booth over there, John Denny, is going to scratch his head and probably not read the book because then it may go against everything he believes. Maybe he will. Here's the best test. The machine was put on and ran. It ran. Nobody was around. They had it run. It finished the cycle of 1 billion random selections between 1 and 0. Then they brought in the test subject and said to the test subject, we want you to pick either 1 or 0. And the test subject said 0. Great. Look at the machine. The results are already there. And I want you to say that you want more zeros than 1. And they said more zeros than 1, more zeros than 1, more zeros than 1. The machine is done. It's already done. Then they looked at the results. In 100% of the cases where they tested this and they repeated it over and over again, whatever number the person thought he wanted more of, that's what the machine gave. This is spooky. This means, as everything that I've been saying, I don't have the world's best mentor cup, but as the world's best mentor, what spiritual experts or leaders or gurus have been saying for thousands of years, science has now proven there is no time and space in the quantum field or the 0-point field. And this is how you create luck. So here's the point. What is the science of luck, and what exactly is luck? Luck is this. When there is a random chance, does it go your way more often than not? That's what luck is. When there is a random situation. Now, I first learned about how to put out the frequency and the energy to create this. This was back in it was in the 70s, mid-70s. We had a Boy Scout or Cub Scout meeting. I think it was a Boy Scout meeting. And in this particular meeting, there was a raffle. And maybe there was 50 kids, 75 kids, I don't know, 100 kids, who knows what the number was. But we were in this big hall at St. Mary's. This is where I went to grade school. St. Mary's, actually Sacred Heart. St. Mary's is where I went to high school. Sacred Heart was my grade school. And we used the auditorium at Sacred Heart School. It was the gym, with the basketball court, but that's where they set up all the chairs, and that's where they had the stage. And this is where we had our banquet, and there was a drawing. Everybody put in their ticket. Maybe there's 100, and they're going to do the drawing. And I used this science just in the same way that was described in the book, The Field, by the real PhD researchers. I said the outcome. I wanted the outcome. And I put out the frequency on what's called the theta brainwave. Actually, the frequency band that is perfect, that goes through the 0-point field, is right in between the alpha brainwave frequency and the theta. And there is a real specific way, and I'll tell you how, to broadcast on that your desire. And when you broadcast on that in your desire, again, researchers now prove this is all science. This is not foo-foo. The science says it goes through the 0-point field or the quantum field and has instantaneous result, which means it leaves your mind and arrives exactly at the same moment. There's no time lag. And I did this, and they had 3 prizes. So I wanted to win. They pull out the first one. It wasn't me. That's the 3rd prize. They pulled out the second one, and it wasn't me. That's the 2nd prize. And I'm just sitting there, and I stand up, and I start walking down the side And then, as I'm walking toward the stage, then they pull out the third one and said, Kevin Trudeau. And I said, right here. I knew that was my name. I saw it so clear because I knew this worked 100%. And I won the prize. And that was the moment that I knew that you can be lucky. You can change your luck. Things that are random can go your way if you do a certain thing with your mind, which I'm going to be talking about. But the science, the actual science behind this is now empirical. And I'll give you one more piece of scientific research, and I believe this was done by the U.S. Army. DNA was taken out of an individual and put in a petri dish, we'll call it. The person was then shown disturbing images of war, where people's head is blown off, arms are blown off, horrible, horrible, violent acts. And the researchers noticed that the DNA in the person's body changed. It contracted. They also noticed that the DNA in the petri dish also contracted. Now, the DNA in the petri dish is not connected to the body, so why would it contract? This is the theory that everything is connected. The researchers then said there is a quantum field, which means it's a field beyond matter, energy, space, and time. There is a 0-point field, as Lynn says in the book, The Field. She's the one who described it. So the researchers knew that everything is connected. Now, this is important to the science of luck. The researchers then took that DNA and kept moving it further and further away, putting the subject in more isolated rooms, such as a lead-lined room where cell phone signals can't even pass through. They moved the DNA to the other side of the planet, put that in a lead-lined room where, again, cell phone signals, nothing can penetrate. They had the subject in the lead-lined room on the other side of the planet, and they did the same experiment instantaneously. When the DNA contracted because the person was shown violent images, here, it contracted at the exact same moment with no time delay in the petri dish. Then when they showed the subject positive images, the DNA expanded. And the moment that it expanded, with no time delay, on the other side of the planet, the petri dish, also in the lead-lined room, also expanded. Your mind changes reality. In a few moments, I'm going to give you the exact recipe of what to do if you think you're unlucky, and you probably are, how you can become more lucky. Okay, so you think you're unlucky? How do you become more lucky? Well, number one, scientific evidence has proven that you can go from unlucky to luckier. And some of you can start becoming lucky, and some of you can start becoming very, very lucky. So how can you become lucky? So let's define it really quickly, and I'm going to give you the simple recipe. It's really not that hard. Number one, what is luck? Luck is, do random things go your way? So for example, I'll give you an example of some lucky things. You're a guy, let's say you're a man, heterosexual man, and you think, I really would like to be in a relationship with a hot, super fantastic girl and have a great, passionate, wonderful, happy, safe, healthy relationship. Okay. If you're unlucky, when you walk into a store, the beautiful women that you would want to meet are in a different aisle than you. If you're lucky, you walk into the grocery store, you walk into an aisle, you're coming down the aisle, coming this way is a woman that meets all of your desires. She reaches for something, drops it, looks at you and says, "Oh, can you help me?" And you walk over and say, "Certainly. By the way, my name's Kevin. What's your name?" And then she looks in your eyes and says, "I'm Julie." "Well, nice to meet you. You from the area?" "Yeah, actually, I just moved in a few weeks ago." I don't know anybody here yet. Well, you know somebody now. My name is Kevin. I go, we should get together for lunch. I'll show you around the town. I would love to. See, that's luck. You walk out and say, how did that happen? That was a serendipitous situation. That's luck. Here's another lucky scenario. And I'll give you one from a perfect example. John, I'm not sure if you were there, but I know Andrew was there and Siegel was there. We were in Vegas at the Paris Hotel. I think we were for an Electronic Retailing Association convention or something. And I went down to the high limit slot machines and I'm with the guys and I'm getting $500 coins. This is back in the early 2000s. $500 coins. So I go into the high limit machine and I put and Siegel can verify this if John wasn't there. And he saw me do it. So I put in one machine, I pull. Before it spun, I go to the next machine, put in 500 and pull. Go to the next one, put in 500 and pull. And I hit the 5 or 6 machines, there's only a few of them that are 500, right in a row and pull them. Absolutely true story. Every single one of them hit. Every one of them. One hit for 30,000. One hit for 2,500, another one hit for 1,000, but everyone hit. And the guys are looking at me, their eyes are wide open, and I said, I'm lucky. We collected the money, and we walked away. As we're walking through the casino, trouble strikes. A guard with a gun is running down the casino, and I hear him behind us. And I hear him say, sir, sir, sir. And I'm commotion. I turn around and the guy is looking right at me, sir, sir. And I'm like, uh-oh, what did we do wrong? And he comes up and he says, sir, you have a credit in one of the machines. I said, what? He says, you still have a credit in one of the machines. I put in a coin in one of the machines, and I guess I forgot to pull it. I said, oh, okay. And I'm about to say, well, you can go back and pull it. And with all the guys, I said, well, let's go back. So now we have to walk through the casino. We go back, we get the guard with us. We go back, I walk out to the machine, I pull 150,000. Get the money, pass it out amongst all my friends. It's their money. I gave it all to them. I said, have a great day. Have fun. That's luck. There was no skill involved. 100% luck, no skill. That's what lucky means. So if you think you're unlucky, the real question is, what are you doing wrong? All right. There's an emotional guidance system that you can look at and regulate. It's a feeling that is in the solar plexus. It's not in the heart and it's not in your head. It's not 2 inches below your belly button. Those are other centers for different things. But the emotional guidance system is the feeling that's in your solar plexus. So the first thing in order to become lucky, and this is how you can become lucky in everything you want to do. The first thing is you have to have access to and be conscious and aware and in tune with your emotional guidance system. So at any point in time, you put your attention here. Where your attention goes, energy flows. You put your attention in your solar plexus and say, what emotion is there? Not your head, not your heart. Here, solar plexus. What is the emotion? Is the emotion a contracted energy like anger or depression or sadness or fear? Is the emotion neutral, such as complacency, fulfillment, satisfied? Satisfied is like a neutral, right? A little above negative, but it's neutral. Or is it, we'll call it positive. So is it negative, neutral, or positive? Positive is like happy, excited, enthusiastic, motivated, inspired. So in order to be lucky, we have to, number one, have access to that emotional guidance system and know where we're at any given time. And in order to be lucky, we have to be able to move into the positive emotion on the inside. When I say move, that means go from the contracted energy to the neutral and up. And in order to be lucky, lucky people spend most of their time vibrating in that positive frequency band. When you're in that positive frequency band of happiness or joy or bliss or love or excitement or enthusiasm or motivated or inspired, think of the words that are positive emotions. When we're there, our brain will be synchronized and it will leave the beta brainwave state and go into the theta or alpha. And then you put out into the universe, while you're in that state, an image, a picture of you in possession of what you desire while maintaining that state. And then the last part of the recipe is to release attachment to an outcome by saying, and you can say it out loud or internally, and it's okay if that never happens. And when you release the attachment to the outcome, try to increase the positive state a little. If you do that, the broadcast goes right on either the theta or alpha or right in between frequency. It goes through the 0-point field, through the quantum field, and then everything in the universe is affected by it. And then the universe will then change things in your favor. It doesn't mean you'll get that, but it means that you have a higher chance of getting what you want. You now have luck. You get more of what you want, especially in random circumstances. And all you need is an edge. Think about this. If you want to get rich, you don't have to be right 100% of the time. I know. Some of you are thinking, that's right, Kevin. All you have to do is be right 51% of the time. No. All you have to do is be right once. Think about that. When it comes to luck, you just need to change the factor in your favor a little bit. It's that inch, that centimeter that'll make the difference. Think about it. It's just a little bit. 2 horses coming down the finish line, and one wins by a nose. This much. And do you know that the winner gets 50 times more money than the horse that came in second? The winner didn't win by 50 times more. The winner won by a nose. But the winner gets 50 times more money. It didn't win by 50 times more. Think about that. That's what luck is. So you do that little recipe. And there's a book. If you want to read a book that will actually increase your luck, it's an older book, but it's actually a book that dozens of Hollywood superstars claim was the book that made them a superstar. And you may not know some of these names, like Phyllis Diller. You might know Liberace. You also might know Bruce Lee, Arnold Schwarzenegger, and there's many others that claim the techniques in this book, and specifically this book, is what allowed them to be lucky in Hollywood. And the book is called The Magic of Believing. It changes how you broadcast a frequency and changes your field so that you actually become an attractor field. The whole you becomes an attractor field and you become lucky. Now let's talk about some real life examples of exactly what to do, more of what to do so that you can start attracting into your life all the things you want. Attracting into your life is really becoming lucky. And you can become luckier than you are right now. And that is very significant to success. People don't understand the importance of luck. You create your own luck, but you create the ability to be lucky. And when you do, good things start happening in your life. All right, so we all know a guy named Bill Gates. Bill Gates was the co-founder of Microsoft. One time he was the richest man in the world, clearly one of the richest men in the world today. He hit the lottery with Microsoft. If you look at Stephen Jobs, he hit the lottery with Apple. If you look at guys like Elon Musk, he hit several lotteries, right? With PayPal, I think Musk was in PayPal or something like that. And then he got involved, obviously, with Tesla and SpaceX and all these other things. Donald Trump, I mean, this is one of the luckiest guys in the world. He does everything wrong. I had a guy tell me this. He goes, Trump does everything wrong in real estate, and he winds up smelling like a rose, and it's like he digs in the wrong spot, and then all of a sudden finds a gold mine. I mean, that's luck. It's like, what do you mean I'm digging in the wrong spot? Yeah, the map says dig over there, you moron. Oh, duh, I've been digging over here. What'd you find? Well, we got all this gold stuff down here. I don't know if this is going to bother our construction project. Gold stuff? What do you got there? Oh, that's gold. I mean, that's luck, right? You do everything wrong, and it goes that way. It's happened to me so many times. Driving down the road before GPS, I take a wrong turn. I take a wrong turn, and I pull in. This is true. Take a wrong turn. I don't know where I am. I have to pull into a gas station to get directions. I pull into the gas station, and as soon as I pull in, this brand new Ferrari pulls up, and this guy comes out who's an incredibly famous billionaire in the area that I've never met. I've just heard of his name, and I says, "Oh, are you so-and-so?" "Yes." "Well, I'm Kevin Trudeau." "Oh, I heard about you." And all of a sudden, I make a connection, and we do business. That's luck. I'm lucky. You could be lucky too. So Bill Gates and many people say, is there a secret to your success? Elon Musk, Donald Trump, my business partner, Renee Rifkin, Kerry Packer, the richest guy in Australia, who I knew, they all say it behind closed doors. They say two things. Trump says it, out there, but most people say it behind closed doors because they don't want to say it. They say two things. They say success, it's in the genes. It's in your DNA. It's in the genes. If you don't have it in the genes, you're going to be a loser your whole life. Some people are just born losers. Some people are born winners. It's in the genes. I'm going to talk about that in a second. It's true. But the good news is if you have loser in your genes, you can become a winner. But it is in the genes. And the second thing they'll say is, and quite frankly, I'm just lucky. My business partner in Australia had the largest yacht in Sydney Harbor, Renee Rifkin. He had a helicopter on it. I bumped into him. Luck. Again, luck. I bumped into him. I was with General Norman Schwarzkopf. This is the 4-star general who led the Iraqi invasion for the U.S. I was with a couple other guys down there. Mikhail Gorbachev, last president of the Soviet Union. So we were traveling around together as a group. Mikhail and Racer, I knew they were friends of mine. And Schwarzkopf, they were on the Council of Global Information Network. So I'm down there, and one of the guys who was going to be speaking is a guy named Renee Rifkin, who I've never heard of. And I'm going to go down there and meet Kerry Packer, who was the richest guy in Australia. And I'm telling you these things, not to kind of like, oh, he's name dropping. I have to paint the scene so you understand that when you become lucky, things go your way and you can get what you want in massive amounts. When I met Renee, he invited me and General Schwarzkopf on his yacht. So we went to his yacht. We became friends. And as a matter of fact, I have a picture of me on his yacht with Andrew Melcher smoking a cigar. Obviously, and me and Andrew Melcher. This is on Renee's yacht, parked in Sydney Harbor. So I asked Renee, I said, Renee, you make hundreds of millions of dollars. You got 60 luxury cars. You have the largest yacht in Sydney Harbor, have a helicopter on it. You got the nicest nightclub in Sydney Harbor. You have this world-class cafe that we hang out with called Indigo with all these beautiful waitresses and great quality food. And it's just beautiful weather. And it's just really, really pleasant. You're doing incredibly well. You have this massive office with your name on the top in Double Bay, Australia, which is the kind of the Beverly Hills of Sydney, called the Rifkin Group. I says, what's the key to your success? And he said, number one, success is in the genes. But number two, I'm lucky. I said, okay, were you born being lucky or did you create luck? And he says, it's in the genes, which means you have an advantage, but you still have to create success and you still have to create luck. You create your own luck, and you can create the ability to be lucky. All these successful people say these two things. Bill Gates said it when he was on the Larry King show. Larry King was a live interview on CNN years ago. Most don't know that. So Bill Gates was asked by Larry King. At the time, I think Bill was the richest man in the world. And Larry said, Bill, what is the secret to your success? And Bill Gates said, well, number one, I was at the right place at the right time. And luck has a lot to do with that. Stop the presses. Right there, Bill Gates said on national worldwide television, live, that luck was the number one reason he became successful. And every single successful person says that. Luck. They were at the right place at the right time, or they met the right person through a series of serendipitous events, coincidences, things that turned out to be lucky coincidences. That's why they're successful. The reason you're not successful is because you're unlucky. You don't get those. But here's why you don't get them. Pay attention. Number two, Bill Gates said, but there were a lot of people who were at the same place I was. Which means there were a lot of people that were given that same opportunity. There were a lot of lucky people to be at the right place at the right time. So Bill Gates said, the difference is I had vision. I saw the potential in the software and computer industry, and particularly home computing, not just business. I saw the vision. So if the universe gives you an opportunity and puts you at the right place at the right time, but you don't have the vision, the universe will stop putting you at the right place at the right time because you didn't take advantage of it the first time. This is why you're unlucky. The universe shut you off. Let me tell you what vision is. I was, years ago, I think 1979 or 1980, I took my car, 1967 Firebird convertible, which I had like brand new. I bought it used, but it was like brand new. Had 1,500 original miles on it, 326 high output engine, Carter 4-bell carburetor, Hurst shifter on the floor. Loved the car. Midnight blue, all stock, all original, white convertible top. I drove cross country. I was in Denver, Colorado. I went into a hotel bar. At the bar, there was this guy sitting there. I met the guy. He was the past president of Tandy Corporation. Now, back then, that was a big deal. Radio Shack was a big company and was owned by Tandy Corporation, which was a big, big company. This guy was worth tens of millions of dollars. And I was chatting with him, and I said, you're a very successful guy. I'm a young guy, just kind of starting off. And I'm curious, is there a secret to success? And he said, you have to be at the right place at the right time, and luck has a lot to do with that. It's exactly the same thing that Bill Gates said. and I heard this in 1979 or 1980. But then he said number two, and he says, but you have to have, and this is the words that he used. He says, but you have to have depth of vision. When you're presented with an opportunity, you have to be able to see the potential in things, which is exactly what Bill Gates said years later on Larry King, many years later. But I asked him, I was confused. I says, what is depth of vision? What do you mean see the potential in things? He says, okay. He looked around, and back then you could smoke in bars, and there was matches everywhere. So he picked up a little box of matches, and he said, see this box of matches? Just imagine, Kevin, that this is an acorn. If you look at this acorn with depth of vision, with potential, what do you really see? And I thought, this is easy. If I say food for squirrels, I have flunked the test. So I said, I see a tree. He says, that's very good. He says, but you know what I see when I look at the same acorn? I see a forest. I was blown away. He saw the real potential in one acorn. Because one acorn could lead to a tree, which can lead to a forest. depth of vision. So the question that comes up is, Kevin, how do I improve my depth of vision? Because I don't see the potential in things. And the answer is a simple exercise called dream building. You need to expand your mind. You need to expand the realm of possibilities. You need to expand your imagination. How do you do that? Depth of vision gets expanded by dream building. Go to Walt Disney World. Look at what one person dreamed. Go to the richest neighborhoods you can. Look at the big homes. Go online and look at rich things. Look at outrageous things that people spend money on. Look at potential. See what others have done. What others have done, you can do also. See what man is creating. You live in a bubble, and that's your world. So you don't have depth of vision. You don't see potential. You need to hang around dreamers. You need to hang around visionaries. You need to read books, autobiographies or biographies of Richard Branson, about J.P. Morgan, about Elon Musk, about read what these people had and about how they think. That will start growing your imagination. Number 3, and Bill Gates said, but Larry, there are a lot of people at the same place I was. They were lucky just like me. And there were a lot of people that had the same vision. They saw the potential in software and computers just like me. We talked about it. The difference was I took massive and immediate action. They kept talking about it. Successful people are always too busy doing what the other guys are still talking about. Successful people are always willing to do what the other guy ain't willing to do. This is how you create your own luck. Tomorrow, when you're presented with something, when you are at the right place at the right time, expand your vision, see the potential, and then take massive and immediate action. This creates what's called a momentum cycle. The momentum cycle is success builds confidence. Confidence creates activity. Activity creates habits. Habits is doing the right things long enough consistently. Habits create more success, which builds confidence, which creates more activity, which creates more positive success habits, which means you're doing the right things long enough consistently, which creates more success, which increases confidence. When you have an increase in confidence, in one of the previous episodes or segments, I talked about this emotional guidance system. You can see your energy is in the confident level, enthusiasm, excitement, motivated, happy, joyful, blissful. That's how you can then create the attractive field around you, which is effectively how you create luck. And the best part about this is scientifically proven. And when you're in that state, you can actually change or affect, I should say, by the research, by the science. Read the book, The Field. The science is proven. When you're in this state, you can change outcomes and change them in your favor. And you start becoming lucky. But unless you have vision and unless you take massive and immediate action, nothing will produce. You have to do the work. You have to dream big. You have to see the potential. And you do these things, the universe will continue to make you luckier and luckier and luckier because you're taking advantage of what they're providing. Think about this. If you come to my house and I cook you all this wonderful food and put it down in front of you and give you all this great food and you look and go, yeah, it looks nice, thanks. And you don't try any of it. The next time you come over to my house, there's a good chance I ain't cooking you anything. But if you actually tasted something and went, wow, this is fantastic. I love this. Can I take it home? The next time you come over, I'm going to cook you twice as much food. Does that make sense? The universe is the same way. The universe wants to provide you everything you want in life. It wants to give you what you want. What you want wants you. It does want you. if you want it. But if you reject it, it's not going to continue. This is the science of luck. This is how to be lucky. And this is how you can change your frequency and then change your luck. You start getting random events in your favor. Do these things. And I know I'll see you all at the top. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, like this video, leave comments. Leave comments, read the comments. I read every single comment, read the comments, and make sure you give us a thumbs up on the show. Kevin Trudeau here, Limitless. You are limitless. Do these things, you'll become luckier, and all your dreams can start coming true. Much love, everybody. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. If you're ready to access the secrets and insider strategies that I learned that can change everything for you, subscribe to this YouTube channel. Every Wednesday at 9 o'clock Central, we upload a brand new and hopefully thought-provoking show. The mission? The goal? What's in it for you? Well, I want to give you the knowledge and know-how to break free and unlock limitless potential in every area of your life. If you have questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comments section. I read every single comment. Also, make sure you share these videos with friends or family members to help them create the life that they want. And be smart. Follow me on all social media platforms for new and different content that I put up every single day.